Welcome to From the Ashes, the Dungeon Crawler Network podcast, all about Ashes of Creation by Intrepid Studios. Bear witness to the rebirth of the MMORPG genre from the ashes of an industry that has left the gamers behind. I'm Aggelos, founder of the Dungeon Crawler Network, and we are coming to you live from the Mighty Beard Tavern. And I think we're the only ones here because apparently I just got a message saying Twitch now has football on Thursday nights.
Football! Yeah! I should be watching that right now. I was gonna say I should be watching the Leaf game, but they're losing 7-3, so I'm not gonna watch that.
Ooh.
Guys. The Leafs don't exist to me tonight. It's okay. They don't exist.
Oh man, that sucks. But we are back after a few week hiatus to discuss a bunch of stuff from Intrepid Studios, because we did have a handful of things. I think it'll be a pretty fun show, but first and foremost, we got Alpha Soul. How are you?
Oops, was on mute. I'm doing good.
It's all good.
Doing good.
Yeah. Awesome. And the one and only Mr. Crowjack.
Hi.
I'm just trying to stay awake for this.
Wait, what is that? Is that Surge? What is?
No, it's actually sponsored by Mountain. No, I'm just kidding.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag not ad. Yeah, whatever it is. No, it's the Mountain Dew Game Fuel. It's terrible for you, but it's the only way I'm staying awake anymore. So here I am.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Ashes.
We got stuff to do about. We've got a bunch of stuff. I guess first and foremost, some information about Alpha 1. We've got a new cosmetic.
Something mentioned off the cuff, like I don't know. Is it really information?
No.
Can we
It's a
maybe
It's a leak.
possibly.
It's a leak. There's a leak in the boat. Ah! Well, anyway, we got an ugly costume. Actually, no, it is pretty cool looking. I just don't like the mask. But we got a giveaway they're doing. We got 2 new hotfixes and a new batch of monthly cosmetics just in time for Halloween. That's pretty cool. But before we jump into all that, I also got to say, hey, we got an awesome 5-star review from Germany.
Ooh.
Yeah, it came in.
Was it Guten Tag?
No, it's
I'm not gonna try. Hello in German.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, I'm going to read it. All you have to know about Ashes, 5-star review. Really great podcast for all topics around Ashes of Creation. These guys are getting me really excited about the MMORPG. Well-prepared discussions and a lot of information about Intrepid and Verra to entertain me every time I'm on the highway. Even though Aggelos needs to work on the word Zweihander.
Zweihander.
No, I don't. I'm almost.
I think is it Zwei?
Zwei.
I always thought it was Zwei.
Vi.
It's
Vi. I almost like
Vi.
Vi-hander. I don't know, but my wife says I can't speak English. You expect me to speak German? No.
I regret to inform you that it's pronounced Zed. Therefore, it's a Zed-Wayhander.
Zed.
Just let you know.
Yeah.
Zed-Wayhander. That's how I do it.
All right. Maher 94. That was, I don't know, but I apologize. Don't hate me too much. But I would really love you to send us an email at some point using the contact us and let us know which of the 3 of us said it better, because we know it wasn't
Zed-Wayhander.
Zed.
All right, you're out. I'm pretty sure that's not it.
No idea. I have so many.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Crowjack is on the bottom of this list. Okay.
Top tier answer.
Right.
Here you go.
Anyway. All right. Thank you so much. That really does mean a lot to us. We love seeing those 5-star reviews come in. Thank you. Even if we can't pronounce your name because it's German or any other German word, but we try.
Zed-Wayhander.
That's what I'm going to call it from now on.
The Zed-Wayhander.
That's it. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into the first bit of news.
I don't want to get my hopes up, so I'm not putting any credence in this. I'm not putting any credit to this.
I am.
All right, Alpha's all in.
Alpha's
I'm in.
all
I am the cynic. Alpha's the optimist. The tables have turned. Let's go.
All right. Well, let's see what this is. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up on the screen for people to see. Hey, there it is. Let's listen. Get out of the storm, Steven.
Hey, Steven, will you be able to go from APOC BR, Siege, Horde, Alpha 1 to Beta 1 to launch, or is it possible for us to get the Alpha before Horde, since MMO development is programmed parallel?
Oh my gosh, hold on. Is it possible to get the Alpha 1 before Horde? Yes, it is possible. Why is this person shooting at me so much?
Because they're after you. So, it is possible.
It's also actually very likely that Alpha 1 will be before Horde.
There it is. There it is. All right, I'm going to mute that and hide that. So, the idea was on this stream that Steven had said it's very likely that Alpha 1 will be available before Horde mode is available within APOC.
Now, my question is, saying that it was possible at first was a very non-committal answer. Yes, it's possible. Anything's possible.
Sure.
The second bit was a bit more committal. However, I'm wondering, is it committal because he does think it is possible, or is he saying that to, again, keep up the morale of the people who are interested in the project? I don't know. Not too sure.
I think, and the reason why I'm so optimistic is that if you remember correctly before, they said that one of the things that they had improved on and done that made testing easier was they got a whole bot system up.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And a bot system is AI. Right? Yep. And if that is the case, the whole purpose of what we understood Horde mode to be was to test and refine AI. Right? If that's the case, and they already have, a sort of, AI, and they've done, Alpha 0, then I don't see why they couldn't, just skip the Horde mode and go straight to Alpha 1 from there once you have castles. And Castle Siege is, for the most part, we've been hearing for months now that it's almost complete, right? And that they're tinkering with things, basically. And if that's true, there's no harm in, releasing Horde mode or Castle Siege mode and then immediately pivoting and then going to Alpha 1.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I don't know. It is definitely... I'm with Alpha on that one, that it's nice to see, but something we'll probably get into when we talk about Tales of Verra. If Alpha 1's available, how many people are going to be playing APOC?
Negative 50.
Negative. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That was pretty cool. I just want to show that off, that there is that possibility. Next thing up on the docket, we've got the Autumn Night October giveaway. Now, pulled that up on the screen for anyone who wants to look at that. There will also be a link in the description for the podcast. But we've got a new costume, first and foremost. This requires you to get to level 50 in APOC by the end of October.
Not bad.
For those of you who are listening on the podcast side, it's actually, the legs are exactly the same as the new armor that you get put on now. It's just gray. This is orange, like a burnt orange. The chest is a little different. The gloves are the same. The helm is definitely different, and the shoulder is different. But I think it's the same base, like that jacket. They essentially stripped the plate off the front.
Yep.
And added a different shoulder piece, and the helm is custom. It's a grinning Japanese demon, because that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Forgot what the name of it was.
If we can color this thing and color it like a blood red, it'll be cooler.
Well, for APOC, we probably won't be, but for the MMO, it's possible, yeah. Because this is going to be something that you'll be able to apply. Now, here's the thing. Something I want to talk about. The fact that it is all the way at 50, I think a lot of people, if they didn't buy it, are probably not going to go for it.
No, this is going to be one of those cosmetics that you're going to see in the MMO 5 years from now and go, where on earth did that person find that? I've never seen that before in my life. And then you're going to Google it, and you're going to realize, wait, that's where it came from? There's going to be a whopping 30 people who are going to have it. It's going to be one of those random cosmetics that you hear about in different MMOs or different games that like a small handful have because A, they were around at the time, and B, they bothered to do it.
Right.
It's going to be exceptionally rare for that reason. So get it if you want one of those cool people. Unless Blizzard does this thing where they re-release it every Halloween, and we're like, why? Stop it! Like the Ghoul Trooper outfit in Fortnite. That there was a Ghoul skin they released in Halloween before Fortnite got big, and then Fortnite exploded months later, and only the OGs had that Ghoul outfit. It was a status symbol for those Fortnite players. This has happened in multiple games throughout the time. RuneScape party hats, right? On and on and on and on.
Right. I think the problem was really the fact that, how do I want to say it? They put it so far up. I think if it was somewhere in like the 25, 26 range, people would probably not get discouraged. The other thing is, why in the world did they not switch this with like the level 7 and the Ember Drake that people actually wanted?
Yeah.
At
No,
50?
because they really wanted to get people to play it on that weekend, right? The game had just released. It was a week after release. The weekend was coming up. They were really trying to encourage people to play on that weekend.
Right. I guess and people did play to get that, but I don't think there's enough drive for this particular cosmetic.
No, I'm gonna play Ashes on and off over the next month, and then at the end of the month, whatever I fall short of, I'll just throw embers at it, get it over with, hit 50, call it a day.
Well, this is actually something that's fairly neat. If you do the math, if you just do the weekly quest, okay, this is both legendary and normal. There's enough experience to get you to 41.5. That's not including dailies. That's not including any experience you get from actually playing the game. Just the experience from all 12 weeks of daily quests will get you to 41.5.
Gotcha. That's a hefty chunk.
Yeah. Now that's both legendary and the other one. But yeah, if you add it all
if you're
together,
a free-to-play player, you're never getting this, and it sucks to say that. If you're free to play, you're not going to earn enough experience to earn 50 by then. It's just a sad truth.
Right. And I see some people are trying to do the math in there. If you do all 12 quests, it's 45,000 experience per week. So you get 540,000 experience.
But you don't get 12 weeks. You don't get 12 weeks of quests. You only get 3.5 weeks of quests.
Oh. I mean, in general.
No, he means, in general. 12 weeks. It's
okay,
12
that's
weeks
where
is
the
total
confusion is. Yeah, no, you won't get that for this. I meant in general, for those who want to play APOC for the season, if you only did the quest, you get 41.5 levels out of just the quest
over the course
experience.
of the 70... How many days? Is it a season? It's like 3 months.
Yeah, it's 12
3 months. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. I like it.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's just not enough of a incentive to actually do this every single time. All right. Let's go ahead and hide that up. Next up, we've got a hotfix from October 1st and 4th. We had 2 hotfixes. So they actually, I like that they added this because they went through and told us what the changes are, which is pretty nice. So I guess, Alpha, do you have those up? Because I need a drink.
I'm staring at it right now.
Let's see.
Well, why don't you talk about it, Crow?
So the hotfix in the first reduce the stamina cost of jumping and reduce stamina damage from receiving by blocking. Increase the accuracy of all ranged weapons, which is arguable. Ranged weapons are fine. They're all projectiles, so hitting them is a pain in the butt. If some of them are hit skin, I would still be happy. But sword and shield stamina drain has been decreased as well. Hojun Launcher, this is actually one of the biggest ones. Hojun Launcher has been nerfed, or was nerfed from the first. The clip was shrunk from 5 shots to 3 shots, and the damage was decreased to a base 50 damage per shot. I still hate the damn gun. I still hate it so much. I hate playing against it. I hate everything about it. I wish it was removed from the game, but that's just my own personal saltiness. And the crossbow has been buffed, and I have died to the crossbow in the game since this change a few times now. It's amazing how accurate it is at distances and how much damage it does. It's quite nice. Those are the major changes in the Hotfix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hojun Launchers, I hate it. I hate it. I hate everything about it.
To be honest, from a lore perspective, I hate the potion launcher for what it is, but I do love it in game just because it's annoying. But
How would you rate your FPS aiming skills, Aggelos?
out of what? 1 to
On a scale
10?
of 1 to 10. Yeah, 1 to 10.
About a 2.
Right. That's the general consensus of people who love the
Oh, yeah,
motion
no.
launcher. People are like, hey, I
Oh,
can't aim worth a damn, so I'm just gonna spam grenade.
Oh yeah, no, I am 100%. I am not too proud to say that I absolutely suck at
And you know what?
range.
This isn't unique to Ashes. Every single game that has a grenade launcher type thing. In Overwatch, you have Junkrat. In Team Fortress 2, you have the Demo Man. People always called them the noob tube because you're just launching grenades in the general vicinity of people, hoping to hit them. It didn't take a whole lot of finesse to play with. So when I died to it, it's frustrating because especially before this nerf, it would dealt so much damage, and you had 5 shots. And
Yeah.
sometimes people, our Rising Suns, like to roll around with 3 of them. 15 shots in a tiny final circle.
Yeah.
It was.
I never
gross.
thought about that.
Oh, even now,
Yeah,
you can
man.
roll around with 3 of them, have 9 shots in the final circle. How stupid that is!
I only kept 2, but what I do is it would be a potion launcher, catfall boots, and the tome. Jump up in the air, boom, boom,
Yep.
boom. Switch to tome, 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 tome.
I love people who use catfall. Love it.
Yeah.
As a
Oh, yeah,
knight-
I do too.
I love it. Love, love, love. Please use catfall. Use the catfall boots more. Griffin as often as you want. Horse as often as you want, and catfall as often as you want. Go right ahead.
I'm actually not gonna lie. I'm almost done with. No, I finished the wand quest, and you know how I finished it? Griffins. I just tapped the griffin. I might not be able to hit the broadside of a barn, but I can hit a griffin. Nice. We still got a hot fix on the 4th of October. These are the last ones that we really got. And let's see. Adjusted the scepter fall off damage. Adjusted the wand's effective
That's
range. With the fall off damage for the scepter?
No, the scepter, basically. The scepter is a really good weapon now.
I was noticing some imp players using the scepter, and I was shocked at how effective it was.
It is. Yeah.
At first, I was laughing, but then as my HP was dwindling, I was like, oh, this is kind of legit.
When you're
Yeah.
far away, we talked about this a little bit. When you're far away, it's But when you're up close and all 5 hit you, it's a lot of damage.
If you couple that with rolling away, because if it rolls literally only to use stamina, you can negate them for the most part and do a ton of damage. Now the counter to it is obviously if you're around areas, it does very poorly with seeking around corners. So you can nullify it by just kind of scooting in and out of behind cover basically.
Some random other adjusted experience calculations. They fixed some clipping issues. Now, Longbow of Miasma got some changes. Longbow of Miasma now charges up when you hold down the right click. Longbow of Miasma no longer increases magnification while charging. When it's charged, it now fires on the left mouse down instead of left mouse up. And the Longbow of Miasma automatically fires if you run out of stamina while holding a charged shot. That's actually messed me up a handful of times.
It has. I don't like the new paradigm for it.
You have to be quick on the draw. Like it's a pull and release. You can't really hold it.
Yeah.
What makes me sad is people are starting to realize how useful it is, not because of necessarily shooting people with the arrow, but because of its activated ability.
The poison basically. You can just fire anywhere near them, and you can basically get a 30 HP or 30 armor start.
6 of 6, I think, is what it does.
I think it is.
Is it 6? Yeah, it's 6. That's right.
Yeah.
Is it really
nice
that
little advantage.
effective though?
I swear by it. I will hit someone with the dot, and at that point, I know I have an HP advantage. If I'll swap to a night bow, if I get one more night bow shot on a guy, I'm closing the distance and going to melee because I've got like a 50 to 70, 80% damage. 80 damage difference there.
Okay.
Because if you're around a tree, I can shoot the ground near you. If you're around a corner, if you're in a building, I can, just hit you up with that dot. It causes people to panic. It causes people to get out of cover, and it deals about 36 damage to them.
Oh, interesting. Xylodon says people run 3 to stack it. Interesting.
Oh, no, I didn't even think about that. Just That's so mean. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I didn't think about that one either. Let's see if it works.
That's gross. All right, moving on to the next little bit of news. We got the new monthly cosmetics Shades Unseen.
Before we start, can I say, as a man who refers to himself as bright and shiny, who loves the bright and shiny cosmetic in pretty much any game he's ever played, I am the proverbial angel. I am the proverbial paladin. I am the proverbial white knight. These cosmetics are sick. Like, this is some of the best cosmetics they've released in some time. I love them to death.
Huh.
Funny, because there's a Reaper and there's, like, dead stuff.
Right,
pun.
right.
Yeah.
Well, if you're late for your Slytherin potion class, you could pick up the Fuming Tincture, which is an accessory cosmetic. I'm actually really curious what they mean by this.
What do they mean? I was about to ask that question. What on earth are accessory cosmetics? Are these like, can I put the accessory cosmetic on a potion chilling on a shelf in my freehold? Like, how do you show an accessory cosmetic? Wait, what if you're drinking a potion in the game and you hold the potion up your lips in the animation, but it looks like this instead?
I'm really
Healing
interested
potion.
to see how it, yeah.
How do they show it to other people? It's a cosmetic.
An accessory is so weird because the one accessory before was an eye patch. Then you had a ring. The ring, I think, would be an aura of some kind. Now you have this.
Wait, question. Didn't they say we'd be having backpacks or satchels or waist belts that we could have things dangling off them?
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
It's not the same thing as a costume or a mount, but it's something.
Yeah.
This is going to turn into Guild Wars 2 with the auras upon auras upon auras.
I thought Steven was against the Flash machinist.
Have you looked at APOC?
Must be, I know. We talked about this at length with the current round of weapon cosmetics and the glow.
Yeah. Especially the last one when they tried to show us the castle siege. And it's
The
like,
lightsaber thing, yeah.
are we watching APOC or is this the new EA Star Wars Battlefront game?
Yep.
Because it could be either way. Next up, we got a pet cosmetic, the Black Sight Watcher.
Oh, the crazy-eyed raven thing.
Yeah. I heard
There is a phobia surrounding a lot of eyes, holes and stuff, and this would trigger that for some people.
Interesting.
Well, you heard of the 3-eyed raven, right? Well, IS had to up it with a 12-eyed raven.
Yep, 12.
12-eyed raven. Take
That was
that,
cool.
Bran the useless. I actually do like this. It's pretty neat. Next up, stolen directly out of the Elder Scrolls Online, we've got the Prowler of Perdition.
Is this the mount?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I'm staring at going, I might want to buy it.
Really?
Dude, it's a freaking purple lion lightning looking thing, and it looks sweet. I love it. I love
Well,
it.
as soon as I saw it, it reminded me of the Domithra mounts from ESO. Like, almost immediately, I'm like, Domithra mount, Daedrish
Yeah.
type thing.
This thing better leave behind
Looks
little
cool, though.
lightning or flaming purple paw prints behind it, like a trail, right? Some crackling light coming out of the mane. Like, if it wasn't so bright and shiny in personality, like, this thing's amazing. I love the color.
I hope it goes the other way. I hope it goes more like disappear type wisp thing.
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool too.
Like a fog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't be complete without your incredibly creepy costume, the Corvid Castigator.
There is a massive little cult-like fan base that love everything to do with the Plague Doctor look.
Yeah.
Which the Plague Doctor, which is that beak thing
Yeah.
from in our history. So anytime they have a Plague Doctor anything in a video game, there is a segment of the people who love that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And here it is right here for them.
No, I love the Plague Doctor stuff, too. Now, this isn't, I mean, it looks like it, but it's like a weird bird crow mask or whatever. But, I actually like the feather cloak because it reminds me of Medivh from
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
yeah.
The black feather cloak is definitely a fantasy trope. It's a fantasy thing. You've seen it in like Viking shows, Game of
Yeah.
Thrones. You've seen it all sorts of places.
The Viking shows it's because Odin was his ravens. It was everything ravens.
exactly.
So, yeah, no, I like the cloak. I actually like the sword too, even though I've already known that that won't be part of the costume. Margaret already confirmed that when they do that, they just put it in there to show them holding something. But that looks awesome looking.
That sword's not very practical.
No, the sharp spiky bits, but the rest of it looks cool.
If you're in a sword fight and the blade slides down the length of the blade to the hilt, like what's going to happen to all those little sharp bits as they fly around?
Well, generally,
in the eye.
that's not necessarily true. There were blades that had those parrying hooks. They're called parrying hooks.
But that looks less like a parrying hook and more like
yeah.
thin little slivers of metal.
Yeah, no. Quasi parrying hook, because normally it was right in front of the ricasso where you'd put your hand. You're not putting your hand there. No. But it's a shame because I really like that sword, and that's not part of. If that was part of the costume, I would have bought the costume, but it's not. So sorry, guys. Anyway, next thing up, we got the what is this? The vehicle for the caravans. Oh wow, that's a really small image. There it is.
If nothing else, this screams Nagash. And for those of you who have been in the forums or familiar with him, it's like it's Death himself riding your caravan.
Right, and this is called the Timely Deliverance. It really is. Now, here's the thing that makes me sad. You almost like you have to buy that costume because you imagine wearing like bright shiny armor and yet you're sitting.
I am
on
wearing
this.
angel wings and having this as my caravan, and nobody. I'm doing it. Let's go. I'm gonna be a bright, shiny, glowing dude on this thing. Why not?
It's very gothic. It's very gothic, and I would love it if that mount above had that smoky fog wisp down on its feet as well. But yeah, I think that's just for, whatever appearance. Finally, we got the freehold, which is called the Stillstone Reliquary. It's essentially a giant tomb.
It's amazing to me that they keep having these freehold cosmetic reskins. And the cosmetic reskins don't have a logical thing that I slap them on.
Right?
What is this for? This isn't going on a blacksmith. This isn't going on a tavern. This isn't going on a wood cutting thing. This isn't going on a lumber yard. What is this? What's it for? An alchemy station, maybe?
I would assume that these random ones here just have the basic house or storage. That's literally what it would be. It wouldn't serve a...
Like, we've had coliseums. We've had like all sorts of crazy things. I'm like, what is this going to go on top of?
Yeah.
Right.
I hope they know. I assume they know.
I assume that too. Anyway, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's Halloween, so hey,
yeah,
it fits in. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the last bit of what we're going to talk about, which is our Tales of Verra, which we get to talk about what we've been doing in game. First, I was going to make this its own discussion, but I think as we go through what we've been doing in game, I think this is probably a better discussion to have here. I know, Crojack, you've said that you've not been playing much the past few days.
I haven't really played a whole lot in the past week and a half or so.
Gotcha. Well, you're not the only one. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this. I was looking at the Steam charts, and I know Steam charts, for what they are,
aren't everything,
but it's interesting to see. As of like 29 minutes ago, only 84 people are actively playing on Steam. The reason why that's so important right now is if you notice, the last few games that I've even played have only been 20 people.
Yep, I've experienced that too.
Yep.
They've only hit an all-time 24-hour peak of 104 players in the past 24 hours.
Yep. we were talking about this in the pre-show, and we'll talk about it here now before we talk about our own little experiences in the game. The BR is good. It's just the BR is not great.
Right.
And as a battle royale, it is not able to compete with some of the more polished, more fun battle royales, such as Apex Legends, etc. And then you have the MMO crowd who want nothing to do with the battle royale. So it's really in this awkward spot. And then the results are showing, right? Like before this, I talked about how the product in the end will dictate whether it's a success or failure. That's true for the MMO. That's true for anything in life. And you've had people like Shroud and people try the game. Tim the Tapman and Ninja are interested in playing an MMORPG. They've got their eye on Ashes, and when offered to try APOC, they were both kind of like, not our thing. So far, it has not turned out well. It's a good game, but it doesn't feel like a great game. And the player base is showing that.
I think
the market is showing that.
I think what's also telling is the fact that when all those sponsored streamers streamed, they never came back.
What I will say is their chats, jumped into them. I jumped into Shrouds for a bit. I jumped a bunch of people. The chats themselves weren't tearing the game a new one. They weren't like saying, what is this trash? They would say none of that. People were like, hey, this is kind of cool. I'm going to check it out. Is it coming to console? A lot of those questions. A lot of younger crowd who are console only because PC game is expensive. We're asking, is it coming to console and stuff? So like I said, it's not a bad game. The crowd, the audiences were looking at their favorite players playing the game and going, wow, why are you playing this? The game's okay.
No, it is.
But the BR fans, there's other BR games that they'd rather play.
Right. If you're into battle royales, there are better ones. And the only people who are really into this are into the MMO, and they aren't really into battle royales. And we're seeing that. Mr. Powers D in chat. Question for the cast. Do you think the battle royale is currently serving its purpose despite the 30-man queues? 30-man? What are you talking about? 30-man queues. It's 20 now. What data can they be collecting with such few people playing?
I don't think it's serving any of the purposes it had as intended right this second. I talked about in my streams, I think that the Battle Royale and APOC in general has three purposes. 1, data. 2, monetization. 3, player funnel. I don't think it's doing that purpose for any of those right now. Not enough players or games to really get enough data. Not enough players or games to really bring in that monetization. And not enough players or games to reach out to further players and games and player funnel to more people into the ecosystem. I don't think it's serving any of the purposes right now that it had intended. Down the road, when the MMO is out, when Castle Siege is out, possibly. Right this second, not so much.
What about you, Alpha?
Well, what, my thoughts on the BR?
Well, yeah, and the question served above about do you think it's actually serving a purpose at this point?
So I agree with all three of Kojak's points. I don't think it's serving its point on that. I will say there is an additional point, though, that I think it does serve, and that is if they can keep their servers up and running and monitor them as if, kind of like
a live
production
service
test
thing, yeah.
Exactly, like a live service and production.
Yep, there's value
that
in
I
that.
think. I think they're doing, right? And I think they're able to do that with this. So from that perspective, I think it's successful. But you're right. I don't think that it tests the servers. I can't imagine that they're getting a lot of money from it. No. And then, what was the third one again?
I talked about it being a funnel for additional players
funnel,
into the
yeah.
ecosystem.
Well, okay, so that one, I think the jury is out. I think it's pretty clear that it won't be a funnel for the BR, right? There was plenty of advance warning given out that this would not work, right, for it. But it remains to be seen if all those people, who kind of sniff the game, because, I mean, it's how the world is going to look, will wind up, interested in playing the MMO, right?
I'm curious about down the road. Imagine the world, MMO's out, BR's available, Castle Siege is available, Horde mode is available. It's all there. It's all running.
I think they take it down.
Do you think they're down? I'm curious to see. I want to know, will those 3 free-to-play game modes act as a funnel of new players potentially into the subscription-based MMORPG because of the cosmetic transfer and stuff? I'm curious about seeing that.
I genuinely don't think it works just because of how many people. We're seeing what happens already right now when you have a small player number, right? Now multiply that once you have the Horde mode and the Castle Siege mode, which I would argue would have garner more interest than the Battle Royale, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, just to throw this in here while you're talking about it, Mr. Powers D once again coming in. Do you think they'll speed up Castle Siege launch due to this?
I have a very simple, very logical theory as to when they kind of intended for it to be out. And my money is at the start of the next season, which is the middle of December or so, right?
Yeah.
Season rollover to help encourage people to get the battle pass, etc. I think they're really aiming hard. They have a deadline of the next season when it drops. They want Castle Siege ready for that.
I think that makes the most sense.
Logical.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes a logical sense. Yeah.
I honestly think if the game, if Castle Siege was close enough to being ready for this
might launch
season,
earlier.
they would have waited. I don't think it's going to be any
I see what you
sooner than, the end of the season as well. I don't know. I don't think they're going to speed it up at this point because they still don't have duos and squads working yet.
And that is actually what has me puzzled and questioning.
We talked about it in the pre-show before you jumped into the voice chat. My theory on it.
Good. What's your theory? And
It's a pretty simple thing.
actually,
we talked about
I'll say my theory first because you
Yeah, go ahead.
ripped
Yeah,
mine
you go
apart.
first.
My
Sorry.
theory was that the two share the same matchmaking
structure?
algorithm,
Yeah.
and they're pulling from the same queue. So you sign up for duo, you're getting thrown into squads. They can't figure out how to separate the two and can't keep them both up at the same time. Go ahead, Crowjack.
Interesting.
So he was, Aggelos is talking about a bit of a bug in the system. I'm talking about a simple fact that the player base is too small. And if they have 3 separate queues up at once available for people to click on and play, that is going to segment the tiny player base too much, and the queue times will get infinite, possibly at certain times a day, right? You may not have 20 people queued up for duo. You could have 11 people or 12 people queued up for duo waiting for a round that never pops. Could happen. So they alternate between duo and squad to give people that different partner experience and maintain solo, because there's just not enough players to really afford to do all 3. That's what I think.
Satana actually kind of vindicated my position because they said there were solo players who were getting placed into squads.
That's happened to me before.
Yeah, I agree too.
So if they can't figure out how to separate the queues, I don't know. But I know one of the issues that I'll speak about that I've been logging in to do the quest to keep leveling up. I don't think I'll get the orange costume by the end of October, just based on how slow I'm going. And as I finish quests, that gives me a bunch of experience, but not enough for 50. And I'm not playing matches, 12 hours a day to get all the way to 50.
Yeah.
But a lot of the quests that I'm stuck on now are the ones that require squads.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward. Like revive players and stuff like that.
Well, no, those ones, thankfully, I've done. It's literally like outlasting in squads. Oh, are my favorite. Outlast 500 people in solo. You know how long that's going to take when there's only 20 people in a match?
Yeah, it's a bunch of games.
Even if you win, that's only 19 people you outlived.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of been what most of my experience has been. I mean, I've been doing a lot of solo queues when I'm just hopping in. Once again, rocking the noob launcher, man. I love that thing. Love it. Oh, I actually got the wand as well.
Yeah.
I got wand. I couldn't believe I actually won a game using just a wand.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because I was like, screw it. I'm going to go ahead and try to finish this wand quest because I couldn't do anything else with it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, there's no other quest I can do because it's either outlive people in solos, which, it will happen naturally, just very long time. And everything else requires squads. Those aren't up. So I'm just like, if I die 3 in, who cares? I'll just keep doing a little bit of wand damage. I actually won using the wand.
Yep.
I did like a total of almost 400 damage with wands in one game.
The wand is nice.
It's nice if you can get up close. Like if you're within that medium range,
Mid-range.
right outside of melee.
Yeah. And especially the Q ability is actually really underrated, especially if you hit him with it. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever been hit with it, but try and aim with a ranged weapon, and when you've been hit with
I was
that thing.
going to say, didn't realize that until I tried it. Like, oh my God, my vision messed.
Yeah.
It's
It's
messed.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Alpha?
What's the question?
Just talking about game experiences.
Just what you've been doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, So I was out for work most of the week,
Mhm.
and just came back last night. So I loaded up, and I was actually kind of surprised because before I left, it was like I think 30 to 40 players per match,
Mhm.
and I came back, and the first match that I got into was like 10 people, um, and then it went up to like 20, and
Mhm.
stayed at about 20-ish for the rest of the night, which is it's kind of disappointing only because the way that I play is actually much different if it's 20 people. Because
Yeah.
I love to fight, basically, I end up chasing people and getting myself into situations more so than I
Mhm.
would otherwise. So it's, win percentage is still roughly between 30 and 40%,
Mhm.
but it's not as fun because there's just not as many people. The amount of people or the amount of kills that I get in a game now they've gone from double digits now down
Yep.
to 3,
Yeah.
Mhm.
maybe. If I can find the big issue is finding people
Right.
when with that
World's
match.
too big for the size of population.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Woodchip with the 5 gift sub. Thank you so much, buddy. The other issue is experience gains have even though they've increased them, they've slowed down because the amount of experience you get when you're not finishing quests is directly correlated to how much damage you do, how many people, how well you perform. When you're doing double digits, you're getting and you win a game, you're getting 1.2k
Yep.
experience. When you get 3 kills, you're getting 800.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you're even with winning games, the amount of experience you're actually pulling in, if you're trying to actually level up, has gone down by almost 40%.
Mhm.
Because you're just not finding people to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. At this point, given the amount of, if you've looked at the Steam charts lately, not the Steam charts, the Steam reviews, I think there's almost 600 reviews, and we are in the mostly negative.
We talked about that as well. That is mostly people upset about the lack of the MMO and venting their upsetness on the Steam page because it's a public forum to do so.
Yeah.
Well, what other game did that? Before we get to Crowjack and his stuff, but there was another game who did that. It was Fallout. Fallout 76, because they used their own launcher. Because of how bad Fallout 76 was, people started going to the Steam pages for all the
That's
other
right.
Fallout
Yeah.
games
Yep.
and
Yeah.
complaining about Fallout 76.
Yeah, and
Yep.
downvoting all those ones basically. So
Even though
Fallout-
those other ones were fine, they were great games.
Yeah. It's
New
just
Vegas, et cetera, et cetera.
it's just because they couldn't,
Yep.
it wasn't released on Steam. It was only available via the Bethesda launcher. So they went to where other Bethesda games were hosted and started review bombing those games, specifically with the title, "This is about Fallout 76."
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that with the whole. I think it makes people in Steam not want to play because they look going, wow, mostly negative.
Yeah.
500 and some reviews, and it only has a 28% positivity rating. Game must be terrible. The game's not terrible. It's fun for what it is.
The game's good.
Yeah.
How about you, Crowjack? What do you got?
The games I've played, I've really enjoyed. And all of my negativity around the state of the game it's not about the game itself. It's about how the market's reacting to the game. But when you play it, there is some enjoyment. And my enjoyment usually stems around trying to fight Danny Phantom TV. And sometimes winning, and sometimes losing, and sometimes winning, and sometimes losing. And then when I get killed by him, he comes into my Twitch chat from his stream and he starts laughing at me. And when I kill him, I go into his stream and I laugh at him, and we do so live on Twitch. I love the game. I love the fights. I love the encounters. I wish there's more players, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I see Danny Phantom in a match, I just jump off my Griffin and die.
I love fighting him so much. Though I've said publicly in my stream, there's 2 players I think that are better than me in this game, not including the imp guys. I don't face them enough, and that's Alpha and Danny. You 2 guys, I think, are the only players I can comfortably say are better than me in the game. It's a very fun game.
Oh.
But one thing I've been encountering, I was again talking to Alpha about this, and Aggelos about this in the pregame or in the pre-show. the game as it is now lacks an incentive to continue to play. Battle Royales, the reason you play a Battle Royale and continue to play a Battle Royale over and over and over is because you're trying to improve at the game. You're trying to acquire more kills, to increase your kill death ratio, to increase your win ratio, to climb a leaderboard, to climb a ranked system, to be better than your friends, to live stream and show off your skills to lots of viewers. There's lots of reasons to play a Battle Royale, and it's all about improvement and progress. For Ashes of Creation, I don't know how many wins I have. I don't know how many kills I have. None of those statistics are tracked or displayed in my profile. There's no leaderboard. There's not enough interest in the game to make streaming it really cool, to try and get really good at the game to impress viewers streaming.
Right.
None of my friends play the game, so I can't beat them at the game, except for these couple of knuckleheads beside me here, right? So it's lacking incentive to continue to play the game. So even if somebody picked it up for the first time, played it, didn't realize the mechanics and stuff like that, because it's kind of a complicated game to play at first.
Yeah.
Well,
There's no incentive to continue to learn, because why? There's no reason to learn the game and get better at it, to find the enjoyment as you get better at it. There's no incentive.
And actually, I'm looking at it right now. We're 10 o'clock Eastern, which should be about prime time for this. There's only 44 people actually watching, and 30 of them are watching our show. So there's only 14 people actually watching people play APOC.
Yeah.
Which is probably everyone who's playing APOC who's also streaming the game. Oh.
You know what I think they might need? I've been thinking this for a while now. I think they might need like a product manager in gaming.
To do
what? If that makes any sense. Well, to more accurately prioritize what you need and what are the more key features for gamers. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think that you go with the BR without some of those things that you mentioned to keep people playing, like
Tracking
a leaderboard, right? Tracking statistics, things like that. Somebody who can more help Intrepid, and Steven and the rest of the crew get those features and make sure that they're in time for whatever launch it is. They've been pretty good about balancing, which has made me really positive for it. But I really do think that they, ideally they should focus a little bit more on, I guess you could say, high value items.
Right. I see that as sort of like a two-edged sword. The second they hire someone specifically for APOC, the self-fulfilling prophecy comes true of, told you they were only focusing on the,
an issue with their desire to build a BR after fundraising for an MMO.
To be clear, I don't actually mean APOC. I mean I'm taking this as a lesson to translate into the MMO.
Okay,
right?
Fair enough.
Because if you because the way that I'm looking at it is, if you launched the BR with kind of ignoring the warning signs and some of these features, then what will happen in the MMO, right? When the MMO comes out and some of the features that will come and what will be prioritized, etc., right? Yeah. So I'm more concerned about that. Like, I don't care about the BR at all, right? I'm more concerned about that.
I mean, there are things about the BR that give me more confidence in their ability to build an MMO. What we've seen graphically and what we've seen with animations, the improvements in all those fields, that give me more confidence in those aspects of the Castle Siege and the MMO down the road. I have more confidence in those aspects now. I'm very curious to see how they're going to design the game theory of the MMO to keep people playing the game, to encourage them to come back and continue to play the game, to hook them. That's game theory, that they'll either a loot treadmill or some sort of systems in play to keep people engaged. I'm curious to see how they're going to do that in the MMO.
Yeah. Oh, and just for clarity's sake, for props here, the graphics look amazing. Like, the world just looks amazing. If you just stop and ride around and look around and everything like that, the world has. And I've done comparisons between the first videos that I recorded when it first came out and now, and it is just night and day.
Like we said,
gorgeous
from the start. It's a good game. It's just not a great game. And in the BR space, there's a bunch of great games.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a shame. I mean, it does have its niche, because it's a fantasy BR, which I think the only other one out there was like a Realm Royale or whatever it was.
Realm Royale, Spellbreak, maybe?
Was it? All I know is Realm Royale eventually came out with rifles anyway, so it was kind of like, is it really fantasy? No, this is actually a fantasy BR, which is cool. It's just not ready yet.
Thought, Castle Siege, Season 2. How are they going to address replayability? Right?
Well,
how many times can you attack or defend a castle before you're like, okay, I've been here, done this? What incentive do you have, aside from a cosmetic one, to continue to attack or defend a castle?
Leaderboards.
Leaderboards.
Guild
statistics.
leaderboards.
You're hearing us talk about needing these other things. Oh, yeah, man, my goodness. Imagine having it be able to be tracking, guilds and how well all the players in a guild compared to other, that kind of stuff. Like, that helps.
Right.
It helps in addition to the cosmetics. So now that you hear us talking about this here months in advance of whenever you release this Castle Siege, hopefully maybe they can have those systems in place for that.
Right.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good idea when I come to think. You know how Intrepid could get so much goodwill back instantly? When they come out with Castle Siege, take down the BR. Say, and
force everyone to play the Castle Siege.
Yeah, it would force everyone to play the Castle Siege, but come out with, an item that said, hey, listen, we got the data we needed. We thought that it would be more powerful or more popular than it is, but it's not, So, in our interest of continuing to make the MMO, we're going to take this down. We're going to leave up the Castle Siege and continue on with the MMO.
Right.
Wow, I love it. It shows their willingness to swallow their pride and their ego and go, you know what? It wasn't a good idea. And for those of us that did find some enjoyment in the BR, down the road, we can build up that desire. Like, hey, can you bring that back?
Yeah.
Even for a weekend?
Turn it into an in-game thing.
Yes. Like Black Desert, when they had theirs, I loved their BR because it gave you rewards for your MMO character. And it was part of the game. Make it a battleground.
Make it a battleground that awards a little bit of the in-game currency at the end based on how many kills and if you win or not. Just a little bit. Nothing crazy to destroy the economy. Just factor into your economy modeling.
Yeah.
And take the BR down when Castle Siege comes out. You'll build so much goodwill in the community, in the MMO specific community. You will. If you can go, if you do a public live stream and literally take your lump and go, we tried it, we feel we made a good game, we realized the market didn't want it and it didn't resonate with the market, so we're taking it down. Here's Castle Siege. That would look really good.
Yeah.
Wow, I never thought about that. That's Yeah.
And I see AWAS. Shout out to AWAS. Check out his streams. I enjoy watching that, even though
awesome.
He kills me. I can't believe he killed me the one time. Like, my asthma longbow shot from halfway across the world.
Whenever I stream and I'm fighting another content creator, I either die to them or kill them, whether it's Jailon or Submerg. I'm always mentioning, like, yo, guys, that's a content creator. Go check him out. That guy who just killed me or that guy who just slaughtered, that's a content creator. Go check him out.
Still hold a grudge against. I don't even know how he got me from that far. But anyway. Maybe I'm just jealous because I can't hit the broadside of a barn with anything ranged, so always admire that. But in any case, I think they should, I think they should just go away from Steam, to be honest. It's hurting them. The idea was they brought Steam out in order to get a massive amount of players, and for day one, it worked.
Yeah.
But now there's so many negative reviews on it, no one's picking it up. Just period. Yeah, I don't know. All right, that's the end of the show, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun for us. And I want to thank my co-host. We got Alpha Soul. Check out all of his work at _alpha_soul, his YouTube channel. Putting out way more Ashes stuff than I'm ever going to do. So check out all of his videos. And, of course, follow Mr. Crowjack at everywhere. That's Mr. Crowjack. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter.
And I'm finally releasing YouTube content, finally, about Ashes of Creation.
Indeed.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, Alpha, you commented on one of the videos.
Yeah,
I know.
you did.
That was a pretty good video. You got to check it out.
Yeah. Just check all that stuff out. And of course, you can follow everything we do over at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Be sure to check out our Patron program, patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork. If you want to help support the show, you can also do that by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and sometimes they matter. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of From the Ashes. We'll see you next time.